Have you ever heard of somebody who abducts little boys?
Room below's got some horrible smells.
We don't want to go in there.
What are you doing?
Complimentary room service. There is that.
Hello and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newly Deads. If this is your first time watching, this is a half-hour chat show where Mr. Newly Dead and I talk about a movie that we've watched. If this is not your first time, welcome back. We appreciate you joining us again. If you are interested in learning more about us and finding more information about the show and other things that we do, you can go to our website, which is thenewlydeads.com for all of your Newly Deads needs. On that site, you're going to find information about this show. You'll find information about some of our other ones, like we do Sinister Snack videos. Mr. Newly Dead does unboxing videos, and he uploads every single Friday. He'll upload our past shows from this called Dollar Store Drive-In Classics. So you can check out some of the old stuff and old episodes that we had. And then he also does sometimes blog posts, and we do, both of us create art. So we have a market that we do every year. It's called the Witches Market. It's located in Belvedere, Illinois at the Boone County Fairgrounds, and it's put on by Wolf Hollow Events. So you can find us there. It's the first weekend in October. So this year it's going to be October 3rd. And I believe it's like 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock, maybe. I think it's like a later kind of.
Something like that, yeah.
He'll put the information up there for you so you can see it. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about a movie. We usually like to watch movies that have some criteria. Not usually, we always do. So the criteria for our show is that the movie needs to be under $5. It needs to be a horror, thriller, or sci-fi genre movie, and it needs to be a movie that neither of us have ever seen before. This week we found this lovely box set. It actually comes with two different things. It's a creature collection. The Snow Creature is the other one. But it's got several different movies on there. It looks like 4 on one and 6 on the other. So it's like 10 movies. Is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Oh.
2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 12.
12. There we go.
12? Yeah. Oh, no, there's 5 on this one. 11 movies. You're right, 11 movies.
Set on the side.
Oh, yeah, 9 and 8. Well, this says 9 and 8.
It's a weird set.
It is
like
a weird
two
set.
Very differing sets
Very
of films.
weird
set. I don't know if
set.
they actually go together, if they just look similar, and the dude's like, I'm going
I
to stick
see.
them as one thing. But
Yeah, so it's 9 and then...
they came as a package, and they have
2,
similar
3, 4,
everything.
5.
So I assume it was intended to be a set, but one is like really old movies, and one
Yeah.
is like sort of newer movies.
I feel like this is like a misprint because there's definitely only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies on this one. Anyways, there's several movies on this.
Anyway, we
in
got
this
our
box
bang
set.
for our buck for that one.
We
for sure.
definitely did. We happened to find this at the Peck Thing. The Peck Thing is a huge, I would say it's like a craft show mixed with, actually there was like a description of it and I can't exactly remember how they worded it, but it's like a giant antique craft show, thrift fair kind of thing. There's a lot of different vendors. There's, hundreds of vendors that are out there. Food trucks and all sorts of fun things. So it usually happens twice a year. There's one that happens in May, and we already went to that one. That's a spring Peck Thing. And then they have one in the fall, and that usually happens in September, I believe.
Which is where the Halloween stuff gets put out.
Yes, that's our favorite one. But we like both because the springtime usually focuses on plants and things like that. So we also like plants. Yes, we do. That's where we got this. We highly recommend if you're in this area, come check that out on either May or September. So this week we watched a movie called Juggernaut. Yes, it's an old movie. He's going to go into all the details and stuff like that. But I'm going to read the synopsis. Once I'm done with the synopsis, we're going to watch the trailer. And Mr. Newly Dead likes to do a little segue of a little fun little trailer thing. So I'll be thinking about that as I'm reading the description here. So ready? All right. Teetering on the brink of a breakthrough in his experimental cure for paralysis, Dr. Sartorius turns to the sinful profession of murder for hire to fund his research. Yes, that's very sinister. This is an old movie, so I don't know, just put some sort of old-timey car up. That would be ideal.
Okay.
Old-timey car.
Old time.
Yeah, as we segue onto watching the trailer. So hopefully there is a trailer for it. If not, I'm sure he can
I'll
come
figure
up with something
out. There might be
creative.
a clip or something.
But yeah, so we're going to pause the video. We'll be back and we will discuss the movie that we watched. So we'll be right back.
And what's the trouble, Lady Griffith?
Oh, I haven't come to consult you about myself. It's about my husband. I want your advice, Doctor.
Did anyone mention my name to you?
No, I read an article about you in the paper. It was about your work in Morocco.
Oh.
It said the unfortunate circumstances which compelled you to leave your work there.
Said that, did it?
It struck me as being very hard on you.
Not many people interest themselves in my affairs, Lady Clifford.
Well, frankly, Doctor, I do.
All right, we are back, and Mr. Newly Dead has a thing in his hand. What are you making a funny face? What? Because you
All
got your
right.
thing in your hand?
I got my thing
It's
in my
a
hand.
piece of paper. What is that piece of paper there for?
So whenever
sir?
we watch a movie, I will take notes, and then at the end of the year, Miss Newly Dead will collect all the notes digitally, put them into a flip book. You can find them on our aforementioned website. The years 2023, 24, and 25 are all currently available on the site. 2026 will be available after the first of the year.
Yes.
There was a recommendation that I'll get into, the person that recommended it later, who asked if maybe we would do like a highlights flip book, you know, like the best of.
That
I
would
said,
be fun.
hadn't thought about it, but something we're considering. Mrs. Knew that it also is committed to taking notes this year. She's at 100% for this year and last year, both. Even if her notes maybe are not always
Scant.
complete.
Yeah.
We'll get into that too as well. But yeah, so excuse me. So this week we watched Juggernaut, as she mentioned, from 1936, the year my mother was born. My mother's birthday will be here in a couple weeks. And
Did you draw anything?
I did. I'll show you in a second. I just forgot that part.
Oh, yeah.
But by the time you see this, it'll be even closer to that. So
Happy birthday, Eleanor.
currently sitting at 4.8 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database. And I drew one thing, and if you know who that is,
It's a juggernaut.
it's the Juggernaut.
Yeah, it's very cute.
And he's very confused because he's like, this isn't about me.
He has nothing to do with this.
Because my kid is like, what are you guys watching this week? Because, you know, my kid likes to watch movies with us sometimes. And I said, oh, it's called Juggernaut. And they're like, oh, is it like a big giant monster in it? Or is there like a dude that fights, you know, superheroes in it? I'm like, nope. And they're like, oh, that's kind of false advertising. I'm like,
And then they walked away.
and they didn't watch it with us at all.
Nope.
Did you draw anything?
My squiggles. I drew like weird worms.
Just weird
Just weird
squiggles.
worms. Yeah.
I guess we'll get into that
I
here
was
in a
going to
minute.
draw a little face on this guy. So
So, Juggernaut is directed by Henry Edwards, who is known for The Man Who Changed His Name.
Oh,
Very legal sounding film. Squibs, not squids, but squibs, which if you work in the film industry, squibs are, you know, fake bullet hits. I don't know that that's what this means because, you know,
Maybe.
1936. Then they did Scrooge in Color. Now, it was not called Scrooge and it was in color. It was actually called Scrooge in Color. It's from 1935. So Scrooge has been done over and over and over in some form or another, but this was Scrooge in Color. This was written by several people. The novel was written by Alice Campbell, who wrote that novel, this novel that was originally called The Temptress, which makes sense if you know the story. This was screenplay was written by Cyril Campion, who wrote Convict 99, something called Debt of Honor with a U, The Admiral's Secret, which I don't know what The Admiral's Secret is, but yep, and The Lash, which I assume they mean like a whip.
or just an eyelash.
Or perhaps
like,
an-
you've got a lash.
I do have lashes. This is also written by H. Fowler Meir, which is a great name, who wrote Black Coffee, which I was like, yep, got to put that one in there. The Phantom Fiend, which sounds like something I would enjoy. The Shadow, yep, as in The Shadow Knows, I don't know if it's a serial or a movie adaptation, but I'm pretty sure it's based off of the comic. The Ghost Camera, which, means something different now than it probably did then. And something called Talking Feet, which, you can make a killing on a certain website that we won't mention because we're kind of family friendly for the most part. And then finally, Heinrich Frankel, who wrote Olympia, which is not about Olympia Dukakis. When London Sleeps, which I didn't know London slept. Der Tanz geht weiter, which my German is not nearly good enough to tell you what that means. And Die Heilige Flamme, which I think would mean like the high flame or the large, big flame, the big fire, maybe. Something along that
What was
line.
the first one?
Der Tanz geht weiter.
Something gets tighter almost. It's you know what I mean? Sometimes when you read German, you can kind of figure out what things are. Like Dotter, it was like daughter. You know what I mean?
Some of the words are pretty...
and so I'm wondering if that's something to do with fighter or
It's Weiter.
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 Yeah.
Which I
Interesting.
took German in high
Let us
school
know.
for 2 years because someone I was interested in was in the class and the teacher was way more attractive than the teacher in the Spanish class. So I took German. And during the course of the class, I said, she's like, it's a very, pretty easy language to learn because a lot of the words, so she, was asking us about, different things and telling us what different things were. And I was like, so what would you call a hand? And she said, der Hand. I'm like, oh, well, yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
And then one time she was counting and she's like, she got to 6, which is sex. And she said, sexual. And I'm like,
Yeah. Then you had to put a book in front of you and
yeah.
walk around.
Right. She climbed on the chalkboard once. It was entertaining. Forgot her name now. But anyway, this stars the just amazing Boris Karloff, who you may remember from Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein and a bunch of other roles as Frankenstein, or he even has played the Doctor. He did the Veil TV series, which I just recently did the entire run because Vinegar Syndrome released the entire series on Blu-ray. He was in Die Monster Die, which we watched together because it is a early version of The Color Out of Space, which Nicolas Cage version, if you've not seen it, is fantastic. Die Monster Die is way different, but it's still worth watching. He was in the original Mummy. He played the Mummy, which is arguably one of my favorite of the Universal monster movies. Just like it's a love story, but it's beautiful. But anyway, and he was in the original Old Dark House, which has been remade a couple times. There's a newer version which starred Tom Poston from Newhart, which was funny. But anyway, this also stars Mona Goya, who was in The Bread Peddler, which gluten, intolerance, beware. Johnny Haute Couture, which, yeah. My Last Mistress, which there she goes being a mistress again, I guess. And Babette Goes to War, which, good job, Babette. Then we've got 2 more people here. Arthur Margetson, who was in Phantom Ship. Commandos Strike at Dawn. These all sound very of the time. Thumbs Up, which is not about Roger Ebert. And Music Hath Charms. Boy, they were really just making movies about everything, weren't they? Mm-hmm. And then finally, Anthony Ireland, who was in Spaceways, which sounds fantastic. Sweet Devil, which is probably not what it sounds like. Just Like a Woman.
Just like a woman.
Yep. And I Accuse with an exclamation
J'accuse.
point. Exactly. That's why I put it there. Because I'm like, it's not quite J'accuse, but it's close. So at this point, my lovely wife turns to me and she says...
What'd you think?
So, first of all, this movie was 1 hour and 4 minutes long. I would classify it as a B picture. Probably was either before or after the actual movie you came to see, which was probably also pretty short because most of them at the time were like an hour 15, hour 20, maybe an hour and a half, but not usually longer. So it's very short. It's very succinct. It basically could be an episode of a TV series.
Yeah, easily.
For all intents and purposes.
Almost like a Tales from a Crypt or something, like where it was like an anthology. That would make sense.
Or an episode of The Veil. If there was a little bit more supernatural element to it, because it's more of a crime thriller, which falls into our wheelhouse as well.
Yes.
But the main thing with this set is that the older movies that are on here are all public domain films. This has not been transferred to, digitally transferred to Blu-ray or 4K or anything yet. So it seriously needed some TLC. And Boris Karloff deserves better. But so during the entire course of the film, I looked to see if there was any cleaned up versions anyone's done anywhere, and there was not on YouTube, not online, not anywhere. So there was a hiss because, you're running film through a projector or the old, sound on the film. There was a hiss throughout the entire thing that created a, I don't know what to call it, like a white noise. Yeah. So it was kind of hypnotic. The sound was sketchy at best, so a lot of the dialogue was missed. And this says that it has subtitles, and I turned them on, but nothing ever came on. I don't think they actually existed. I think they were coded in there, but they were never actually put. So it was hard to hear. So basically, the plot you kind of got from that, Dr. Sartorius is, doing his experiments. He gets kicked out of or leaves wherever he's doing his experiments, comes back to the States, and a woman who is in a marriage to a guy that's way older than she is has decided that she's had enough of the marriage. She's been with him for a long time and is ready to collect her inheritance and see him gone. So she tells him, if you kill him, I'll fund your experiments and I get the lifestyle I want, because then I can go run off with my man friend and all will be great. So the doctor moves in to help with her husband, who is ailing, and brings his nurse, who is not involved in the plot. Again, there'll be spoilers here. So they begin to do their thing. The son shows up to see his father, and ultimately the dad gets killed. They try and hide the fact. A bunch of things happen, and then eventually they realize that he killed him, that the wife is in on it, and they're also trying to kill the son. And it ends with Dr. Sartorius trying to prove that the vial of in the syringe is not poisonous, and instead of just like having them sniff it or trying to find another way to get around it, he just opts to inject himself with it, to which he collapses to the floor, dead, of course.
Dies.
And then the aforementioned newly widowed woman comes in to see him dead and realizes that the jig is up and she is going to jail, and that's the end of the movie. They don't say any of that at the end. Just the look on her face is like, oh crap, I'm left holding the bag. And that's the whole movie. I thought it was funny that Dr. Sartorius was his name, because Dr. Pretorius is one of the lead characters in Bride of Frankenstein, which also starred Boris Karloff as the monster. The aforementioned wife was named Lady Clifford, which I kept imagining her as a big red dog. The whole plot seemed very convoluted, very 1936. There was a lot of, and even to this day, true crime is a big thing. And back then they had, the pulp novels, and there was a lot of these thrillers involved, murder for hire plots and whatnot. Think Hitchcock or any one of the directors at the time. And there was a lot of these stories out there. So it made for an easy hour-long B picture that they could get a few stars and make a quick buck. There's, unfortunately, because of the fact that the film was degraded and hard to hear, what happened?
Yeah, I fell asleep. And mostly I wrote down that this movie's hard to watch. Background noises makes me sleepy.
I mean, sometimes it's the dog, if the dog is cuddly.
We go to sleep every night listening to white noise. So it's like you're watching something, you've got, like you said, dogs cuddling next to you, and it's nice and warm and cozy. It's at the end of the day. We already ate our meal. It was just like a recipe for falling asleep, unfortunately.
Which, I mean, to be fair, if this was, I think, a better version, it might not have had the same result. But just watching it myself, it was a little difficult. And I love these types of things.
Yeah.
But some of the things that I thought were interesting about this was the son finds out that the dad tells him, hey, I'm going to give you power of attorney and I'm making everything out to you in the will. And instead of holding on to that information, he tells the wife, which is what then forces her to kind of push the plan forward a lot faster and then take vengeance on him, because, she's like, she even says it. She's like, I earned this. I put in the time. I wasted my life on this guy. And I'm like, geez, all right. And then it turns into they're trying to kill the husband, the nurse, the son, the butler, everybody. And at the end of the day,
everybody must die.
Exactly. The nurse and the butler are the MVPs. They're the ones that save the day, the hired help, so to speak, which I thought was an interesting thing, because, the the rich ones are the ones that get rewarded, and the hired help are the ones that do all the heavy lifting. And I don't know that they really got anything out of this.
It's like real life.
Pretty much. And I also thought it was interesting that he died by suicide at the end, which is not totally out of the realm of possibility or uncommon, I guess, in film. But it just was kind of a shocker because he turned around and he's like, I'm like, what's he doing? Is he going to drop it and pretend, oh no, I dropped it. I don't know what it was. But nope, he took the easy route. And the other thing that I thought was very much of the time, and I told her about it as soon as it was over and we were putting everything away to get ready for bed. When the wife came in, when the nurse came in and was trying to explain everything, she was with a dude that brought her that was friends with the doctor, but had not been in the movie up to this point that I remember. He may have been on earlier on just as a side character, but she's just like, had just gotten away from being kidnapped. She'd crawled out a window, climbed down into the grass. She was wearing heels, running from the boyfriend that was holding her hostage for Dr. Sartorius. She knew the whole plot. She knew she was going to be killed if she didn't do something. So she's freaking out, as anybody would. And the guy's like, you can't listen to her. She's hysterical. And I'm just like,
Happened all the time. Still does.
yep. So they wouldn't listen to anybody but the dudes until, he offed himself, and then all bets were off.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the entire movie. It's really
It's short.
straightforward.
Yeah. And I remember
to it.
some parts of it, it's like I didn't sleep the whole time, but, there was like a giant chunk of time where I like fell asleep, and then he summed it up super fast for me. So
Yeah, I broke it down for her. She's like, what happened? I'm like, I got to tell you about this.
Yeah.
And I did my Boris Karloff impersonation, which I didn't know I could do one, but there you go. Yeah, I love Boris Karloff.
yeah. Do you have some final thoughts?
I do. So my final thoughts are, this is a simple little B thriller that needs some love and a double feature on Blu-ray.
And I said, please, I'm begging you, like someone, please clean this movie up. That way I can rewatch it and not fall asleep because I love Boris Karloff.
See?
Yeah.
She's even got Boris Karloff tattooed on her arm, sort of.
Yeah, kind of.
She has the monster tattooed on her arm,
do.
but, it's based on the Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, so monster.
And then so the way that we rate movies is we say that if you had to pay for this movie again and spend $5 or less, and we can say as less as you want to go, like low as you want to go, but never over $5, how much would you pay to rewatch this movie?
Did we say never over $5?
Yeah, because it's dollar store drive-in.
Oh.
$5 is
I
the
feel like we've
most.
gone way under, but I don't remember if we've ever gone over that.
We've never gone over. Ever.
Interesting. Well, I ended up at 2 out of 5. I think we paid like $8 or something for the set. So,
And there's, a lot of...
we paid less than
a lot of
a
movies
buck a
in it.
movie. But if it was cleaned up and it was done right, I would definitely, add it to the Boris Karloff collection.
If it was cleaned up, I would pay way more, but I put 50 cents because, Boris Karloff.
At this version, I was ready to rent it for $2 if I could find a good version of it.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
It didn't exist. So
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, and if they don't want to watch this movie, what do you recommend?
I had to kind of go back into my brain here because I was thinking of murder for hire kind of plots. And there's a movie on my shelf that I got free when I bought my first DVD player. The deal was you get 5 movies free when you buy your DVD player. I'm like, heck yeah. Now, granted, they weren't all movies that I necessarily wanted to see, but one of them was A Perfect Murder from 1998 with Gwyneth Paltrow, Viggo Mortensen, and Michael Douglas. And Gwyneth and Viggo are having an affair. He's an artist, and Michael finds out, and he's like, I want you to kill my wife, to him, and, then we'll split the money because she's rich. And, of course, things go from there. And it's actually a really good movie. Like, I was like, I love Gwyneth. I love
those
Gwyneth Paltrow.
those are
She's-
good. That's a good cast.
She's off the rails now, but back in the day, I was a fan. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll watch. I like all these people. And I was surprised. I've seen it a few times, actually. It was pretty good. Reminds me of What Lies Beneath a little bit, but without the supernatural aspect.
Yeah.
Like one that you saw it and you're like, is this really going to be any good? And then you're like, wow, this is really good.
I really liked What Lies Beneath.
So recommend it if you have a chance. Check it out.
Very good. All right. What are we watching next week?
So I left a little bit of time here because this is the first time in a while that we've had something sent to us. So when I mentioned earlier on about someone recommended that we maybe do a best of the flip books, it's my friend Chris that I went to. Well, we've known each other since our parents were friends before we were I think before we were born. But I've known him since basically birth, grade school, if nothing else. But we reconnected, and he was talking about this movie, and so he sent me his copy on Blu-ray and said, keep it. But the movie is called The Dungeon Master. It says it on there, but that's like a Spanish language
version of it.
I mean, I think it's in English, but I think it's like a Spanish import. It's kind of neat because it's, he probably I'm assuming he found it at a used shop, or it wasn't available yet, because it's available now. You can buy it on Blu-ray.
There's some people in it.
But there's some names in it. It is from 1984, and he's like, this is one you need to check out. So thank you, Chris. We appreciate that.
The problem is I can't read it because it's in Spanish in the back.
Oh, we'll have to get a synopsis and throw that at you later.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to look it up here. Chris is an artist. Actually, he's been releasing, they're basically in graphic novel format, but they're, comics. And I will put his information up here if you're interested. He is a very talented dude, and I like what he's doing. He actually sent me one of those with this.
Very cool.
And it included some original artwork in there as well. And I just finished the story last night, and I'm kind of curious where it's going to go. It's definitely something a little different. But like I said, I'll put the information up here. Go check it out. If you're interested, buy the books directly from Chris. And tell him that the Newly Dead sent you.
All right, I found something I could read. So it's a sci-fi anthology, and it follows a skilled computer programmer named Paul and his semi-sentient AI, Excalibrate. He and his girlfriend are transported to a hellish realm by an ancient demonic sorcerer named Mestima. To rescue his girlfriend, Paul must use a computerized wristband to battle through 7 different dangerous challenges. Whoa, that sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the artwork on this is like next level, man.
He said it was pretty nuts. So I've heard of it for a long time, but I've never seen it. And I like the people that are in it. When I was writing the notes, I showed her, I'm like, I can't write all these writers and directors, because I'm like, it's an anthology. And it is I'll give you one thing. It is a Charles Band production.
I did see that.
So if you're familiar with Charles Band and Full Moon Entertainment, then you probably know what you're going to be in for.
Yeah.
Which we are very familiar with Charles Band. I read his book, and we watched the 5 original what was his original company called? I have the box set. It's not Enterprise. It's Enter something. But anyway.
Production company, you said?
Yeah, his original company was Enter something. I have to edit this a little bit out here because it's Empire. Empire Pictures was his original production company. And the first 5 movies, there was a box set put out recently. We watched all of them back to back one day. Love that, Robot Jocks.
All right. Well, we're excited about that, and thank you.
Chris, yep.
Yeah.
Chris Wagner,
for
artist
sending
extraordinaire.
Yes.
Check him out.
For sure. Okay. That's it for our show, and until next week.
Keep it cheap and creepy.
Bye.
Doesn't mean you should go chasing the dead.
It may be your robot, but it's my house.
I want to get a close look at these sharks.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, I'll be careful.
The 2 of us. No boogeyman is greater than the 2 of us. The people scream about the team of Karloff and Price. Although we're as nice as can be, my buddy and me